and welcome to another edition. It's the summer edition of Another Way to Praise. We welcome you here tonight. We thank you that you joined us. We thankful that we are here today. Amen.
Amen.
We get to see another day that the Lord has blessed us with. And I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in, because this is going to be an awesome show. People have been trying to find out all week for about 2 weeks. It's like, Doris, what is the show going to be about? Because I normally tell them, yeah, it's a secret today. I said, y'all got to watch. So I've been getting inboxes on Facebook. People have been emailing me. And they're like, Doris, what's the show about? We're going to tell you about it in a minute. But guess what? One of the things I really wanted to reflect on is what happened on the night of Memorial Day. And it was just tragic that 17, can you imagine that? 17 tornadoes hit the Miami Valley in Dayton, Ohio, just down the road from us, right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I wanted to reflect on that today. Why? Because that is my hometown. I think most people know that. I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, and I am extremely concerned about what is going on in my city. And I care about the people that are there that were affected. There were thousands and thousands of families that were misplaced, displaced. And I wanted to bring some friends on here today from Dayton. And we're going to just talk about it a little bit and reflect. And then we're going to give you guys a wonderful, wonderful surprise where you all can actually partner with us so that we can make this happen. Is that okay? So before we get started, I would like to ask, of course, my co-host. Y'all know this is my partner in prayer. The overseer, Anthony Hunnett. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
This is my brother, y'all. Y'all know this is my friend. I'm going to ask you if you would lead us in prayer before we get started.
Certainly. Father God, we just thank you, God. We give you praise and we give you honor, God. Oh, God, we just ask that this program, that this gathering goes out and it blesses your people, God. Oh, God, and that it extends hope, God, and that people's lives are changed by what we're doing in this service, God, that you get the glory, that you get the honor, and you get all the praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And listen, I got two friends from Dayton, Ohio I love very much. One of them I've been knowing a long time because we grew up together. I want you all to help me welcome Pastors Corey and Stephanie Cunningham, the senior pastors of the Inspiration Church in Dayton, Ohio. Welcome, Cunningham.
Well, thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
We know that weather is a little tricky out there today.
At this point, everything is suspect.
Everything is suspect. But we're so grateful that God allowed you all to make it on down the road. Come and join us this evening. This is your first time on Another Way to Praise?
Yes.
Welcome. We're so glad that you're here.
Thank you. Welcome.
I really wish it was under better circumstances. But because we grew up in the Miami Valley and we suffered a great loss, our city, I just had to get firsthand knowledge, since you guys were there. What happened that night? When the storm hit, what happened, Pastor Corey?
Well, actually, my wife and I were in two different spots. I was at home, and she was caring for her father and make sure he was squared away. And I called and said, have you left the house yet? And she said, no. I said, well, they're talking about tornadoes. She said, I've already heard. We're in the closet. She said, you go to the basement. Where I live, although I live in Trotwood, and the tornado out of the 17, the strongest one, the EF4 tornado, went all the way from Trotwood to Beaver Creek, Ohio. Mm-hmm. But where I live in Trotwood, I was on the other side of it. So it didn't hit where I was directly, but I still could feel and hear the wind when it came by. But actually, my wife was actually in it. Her father's house is behind Harry Ring, so she can tell you about actually being in it.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, that is a true story. Yeah. We were in the house. We had all gotten in the closet. We had been in there for a little while. We could hear Jamie Simpson on the news. And also another young lady was on the news, and she was reporting, and she began to cry.
I saw it.
McCall verdicts.
On my phone, I saw it.
And when she started crying, I said, okay, this is serious. Mm-hmm. So we got in the closet, and within about 2 minutes after getting in the closet, we could hear the storm starting to come over the home.
Mm-hmm.
And you could feel the pressure building up in the house, and we slammed the closet door shut.
Yeah.
And it seemed like my ears just exploded.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the house just started shaking.
Mm-hmm.
It was
My
shaking
Lord.
just profusely. And then after about it felt like 5 minutes, but I'm sure that was only 30 seconds. After about 30 seconds, everything stopped. But just like I got text messages from a lot of church members who actually experienced the tornado going through their living room while they were standing in the living room.
My God.
People
Oh, my
were
Lord.
actually running from the tornado. My sister's apartment was completely demolished.
Oh my
God.
She was in there. I had some children from my daycare whose walls were just up around them only. And when they
Look at
opened
God.
up their bathroom door on the 3rd floor, they could see outside.
Oh my God.
So people are experiencing such mental anguish.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Post-traumatic stress
Yes.
disorder
Yes.
from this situation. And
Yes.
I mean, it's deeper than the financial.
Yes.
It goes deeper than the
Much
physical
deeper.
damage. But it's going to be something that takes years and years for us
Absolutely.
to get over as a city.
Oh my God.
The
Yes,
things
yes.
that I saw even that night, as she said, her sister's apartment was destroyed, and after the storm was over, she called me and said, "You got to go get my sister." I said, "Well, where is she?" She said, "She's at home. They're outside," and the apartment complex saying that they smell gas.
Oh my
So I get in
God.
my car, I'm driving, and again, where my neighborhood is, where I was at, you know, just a few trees down, so it don't look that bad. But then just about a mile or so where I live, I called my wife and said, "It looks like a war zone."
Exactly. Exactly.
It was that bad. And you see that on TV from other cities.
Yes.
But when it's in your city,
Ooh-wee.
I said, this is bad. I mean, we had to find all kind of detours to
Oh, absolutely.
to get to where we needed to go.
Now, as pastors, did you first get bombarded a lot from congregation with people with needs and things right away, or?
No, the city did very well and I think the collective church, the universal church, black, white, Hispanic, whomever,
Praise God.
did very well. The religious community did very well, and the entire city, of making sure people in different areas had everything that they need. But what we did that night was actually just text as many as we knew who were in that path. How are you doing? And said we're fine. Just some major damage, some minor damage, but we're glad we got our lives. So in terms of getting bombarded with calls, no, we didn't. Our church, although not directly affected, but we were out without power for 4 days. And so
That was almost everybody.
yeah, it was almost everybody. Her father's house was without power for 8 days. And so we were trying to navigate, make sure that my father-in-law was taken care of, my sister-in-law was taken care of, because basically at that point, both of them didn't have a place to stay. So our house was the only one with power, so everybody stayed with
Everybody
us.
had
That's the
Yeah.
story of a lot of families
Yeah.
in Dayton.
Now, how was the water situation for you all during that time? Did you all have to boil water, or were you out of water?
It was a boil advisory,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
for a couple of days, a boil advisory. Like I said, we never lost power. Just maybe for a few days, the water pressure was so low. But at least where my house is, we were blessed not to have to endure, the major damage that went through.
I'm going to tell you, the night of, I had dozed off, and I have my phone set where I get weather notifications from Dayton and from Cincinnati, because, my family's in Dayton. And I had dozed off, and then my phone went out, the notification went off on my phone. I grabbed my phone, and it's Dayton. So I was like, oh, that's a Dayton, so I just put it back down. So about 2 minutes later, my phone started going freaking off. I mean, the notifications would not stop. And the notifications on my phone are linked to the news. So when I hit the notification, that's when Channel 7 came up, and that lady was crying. The map was red.
Yes.
And at that time, they said it was 8 tornadoes in the area. To be woken out of your sleep and hear something like that. I mean, I was on the phone calling everybody. I was calling everybody, my mother, I was calling my kids, my aunt, my cousins, I was telling everybody, because at that time of night, a lot of people were trying to go to sleep, and we grew up with tornado warnings, you know what I mean? And I think what happens is after it happens so much, you tend to tune it out like, yeah, it's just a tornado warning. but this wasn't the same thing this time.
Yeah.
We grew up with tornado warnings in Dayton, and they always went around the city.
the
They
city.
never
City.
hit in
Yeah.
the valley.
Yeah. Actually, some people said that Dayton couldn't get.
Oh,
the city
'cause we
Dayton
sit in the
could-
bowl.
We sit in the bowl.
We sit in the
Couldn't
bowl,
get
right.
couldn't get tornadoes. Well,
I lived in Dayton for a short time, and that's what the thought
Yeah.
was. And actually, I kind of woke up to it, but in waking up, I went to sleep with the TV on. I first thought that it was some kind of program or some movie out and stuff like, it couldn't be Dayton. And kind of dozed, and then I woke up and really got to see. And another station was showing the reaction from Channel 7 of the lady that was crying. I was like, okay, that really is Dayton.
I was like, there's something going on.
There's
When
something really going
When I saw the
on.
lady crying, I felt like you. I was like, it's got to be something, and he said at the time it was 8 tornadoes already
Yes.
spotted in the area.
And you know what? I want to say this. I appreciate her tears. Because had it not been for her
'cause
tears,
she's
so many
human.
people
Yeah.
would have been devastated.
Exactly.
Right.
So many people.
Yeah.
We took her seriously
Seriously.
Yeah.
because of her tears. And I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
and I'll say
Absolutely.
this: I don't know him, but this is the second time I've heard Jamie Simpson go off.
He went completely
yeah,
off.
but I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because it was a wake up call.
It was.
And I will give this praise part, since this is another way of praise. That at this point, one person that was found, body was found. We don't know if it's actually a direct result of the tornadoes, but no loss of life in the Trotwood.
That can't be nobody but God.
Nobody
Nobody
but
but
God.
God.
It
Nobody
can't
but God.
be
Because
anybody
these things can be
but
replaced.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the next day I worked half a day and then I went to Dayton because I wanted to check on my family and everything. Oh my God. I was not ready.
Yeah. When we say
Because
he's a
we
keeper,
were there.
Yes.
We were there for Memorial Day holiday.
Yeah.
And we got home on Memorial Day. I was up there the whole weekend.
Wow.
And I went home Memorial Day. It was a beautiful day outside. It was nothing that indicated that something like that was going to happen that night. And I think that's why I was just so baffled. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like I woke up and it was raining. And it was a beautiful day that day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like all hell broke loose. So when I got up there and I saw it, I was in tears because when I saw Harrieta, I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
for real? But I couldn't believe it looked like somebody set a bomb off.
It
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not ready. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have came so quick. But I was devastated. I'm still devastated.
I still am.
I'm still very much devastated.
Going by certain houses, even now, still driving, my children ask me, somebody survived in that?
Somebody survived.
Survived.
And one of the things that was really odd is that you can go down a block and one side of the street look like nothing happened,
Right.
or it might be like a few shingles off their house, and the other side looked like somebody just shot up the whole.
Yes.
Well, not even that.
Somebody shot the whole side of the street up. I'm like,
A house
how
across
did
the street.
that happen?
Yeah, well, just across the street. You have a house that seemed like it was untouched.
Yeah.
Or next door.
Or next
Yeah.
door.
Next door, yeah.
House
That's
next
where they would
door
just
is,
bounce.
yeah.
It's no
like,
rhyme or reason
Yeah.
to, and I was like, how did these houses get totally demolished? And it don't look like anything happened over here. So it kind of makes you wonder about the path of the tornado itself. It was almost like it was hopping around.
Yeah. Well, I've heard, I'm not no meteorologist, but I heard they can jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
I heard
can
they can
jump.
jump.
I heard they kind of moved in that way because they twisted in the front.
Wow.
And the whole thing.
So as a senior pastor, Pastor Corey, what was your first thought of what you needed to do to move into action? Because naturally, being a pastor, you're overseeing people's lives. It might be spiritual, but it's also in the natural. You're their overseer. So what were you guys doing?
Yeah. Well,
As they're
like I said, the
covering.
first even that night, we were just texting people, "Are you okay?" And people were texting us, "Are you fine? Are you all okay?" And so we were just texting people. Then, without the power, what can we do? No power at the church, and so we, other churches that had power on the other side of town, I was on the phone with several pastors, asking what can we do, what can we bring, and so, like I said, it was just in the chaos of it. Just at time, after Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, most people needed water. Was trying to get all their belongings out, getting big enough cars and vehicles. So we were just thinking, what can we do? You know, sometimes you don't know what to do, and so a lot of people just jumped into action, helping people move stuff from other churches, other ministries. My focus was, at first, was just our family. That's my first pastor. Is my family. Make sure we're okay. We had a house full of folk, but we were fine. We had food. We had we had lights.
Everybody could eat.
We had even that night we were going to her father-in-law's. I said, well, you don't have power. We got power. And because it took out my van, I had to take the family in trips from my father-in-law's house to my house that night. I mean, just driving over down power lines. And
oh my God, so that's dangerous.
Yeah, it was. But I said, well, we got lights. Our neighborhood is not bad, so let's get everybody there. Then as the days go on, we just basically just texting everybody, are you fine? What do you need?
So we ended up partnering with other ministries, and we had hot meals at our church for people just to come in, drop in, and eat. Because, people were out of the goodness of their hearts giving hot dogs and cold sandwiches. I mean, everybody was on the corner. If you were hungry in Dayton,
unity in Dayton was off.
Nobody should have been
Nobody should have been hungry.
Kroger's was giving grilling out food and stuff.
Everybody
it was off the hook.
It really was.
I don't know if I've ever seen our city like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost at sometimes 2, 3 places, just going down the street, random.
That's right.
People cooking and giving out food.
Every church that was open at that point had water. Every church had toiletries.
Yeah.
Every church had diapers. And this is how unified we were.
Yeah.
Just because they heard our church was open, other churches would bring things from their church. Mount Enid came over and bought things from their church over to our church to make sure that the people in our area were serviced. Also, random churches we didn't even know. Black, white, Hispanic, it didn't matter. They were coming by and saying, hey, I have this. I need to drop this off here for you to make sure that you all have. So, I mean, it was completely and totally amazing. And if a pastor did not do anything, it's because they totally did not want to, because we had all of the help that we needed.
Well, I'm going to tell you, in that little bit of time that I was there, I just want to know how you all feel about this. I felt a shift happening in the city.
Yes.
Never seen anything like that. Just random people helping random people, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think sometimes when tragedies like this happen, God is always gonna, that's why he said he'll turn it around for your good. Not that he's trying to take you out, but if something happens.
And can I say,
he still can turn it around.
And the Bible says, and we know all things work together for the good of them who love him.
And it doesn't matter what it is. He still has the ability to turn it around.
Yes.
And as divided and petty and all of that as Dayton has been, I have never seen Dayton be the way it is right now.
Well, sometimes I like to say that God is so powerful, he can stop anything if he wants to.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes God allows things to happen and say, okay, you all say that you're the universal church. Now let's see it.
That's
and
right.
I think that's what you saw.
Yeah, and I will say that we saw it.
Yeah.
And when we had a chance to partner, again, after 4 days without power, once we got power back, we said, let's do it. Let's partner with Order My Steps, my ministry out of Dayton, Ohio. And those people came to the church and fixed hot dogs again. We still have stuff that every Sunday I make an announcement. Anybody who needs something, just go back and get it. Take what you need. And so that's how powerful it was. Again, from other churches. Even on that Saturday after I went to the car wash, they were barbecuing. Just anybody,
all over the city.
Everybody,
all
businesses,
over the city.
Everybody was doing what they can to help everybody. It was not, hey, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, let's do things different. No, everybody needs help.
That's
right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna help.
And I think you saw the whole universal church come together, crossing denomination and racial lines, and just really coming together as one.
And religion. And religion.
They're like, we people right now.
We're just religion.
Just people.
We're trying to make it.
And did you all feel a lot of support also coming up from Cincinnati? I know a few groups that I know of, including my church, that just took stuff.
We actually had people from Cincinnati to come to our church and drop things off. So absolutely.
Off of my Facebook post. And I actually went to school with him. And he told his wife, he said, we got to help. And they just packed up the car and just drove. drove down. Some pastor friends of ours from Agape Love, the Hendersons. They came down a couple of days and helped other churches, particularly churches that were directly hit from the tornado.
Light of the World Church,
Yeah,
Michael.
Light of the World Church,
Keisha
yes.
Scruggs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the Cincinnati, Dayton area, I mean, just even now continue
yeah.
to come
I know my
together.
church has done the same.
And like my wife said, this is not just a short-term problem.
It can't be. It's too much
Yeah.
destruction.
And
that
there are
has
still
happened.
thousands who are displaced.
Absolutely.
And still hundreds who really have no place to go.
And have lost everything.
Everything, yes.
Everything.
I mean, that is so mind-blowing to think that, wow, in a matter of a few minutes, everything I own is gone. I mean, that will shake you mentally.
Yes.
Not because you're so tied to the thing, but when you start getting our age, most people pretty much have whatever you got, you got. You know what I mean? It's yours. And it may not be a whole lot, might not mean anything to anybody else, but it's yours. And for something like that to be lost in a storm that you have no control over, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Because I heard
It is mind-boggling to even have to kind of process that.
Because some people not just lost homes, they lost vehicles, and probably
yeah.
places of employment were gone too.
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the whole trifecta of losing really everything.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
a lot of times when things happen, people lose the house, they got the car. But I understand a lot of cars were blown away, so it wasn't just the
It
house.
was
that
trees
went,
on
Yeah.
cars.
The
Oh,
car
absolutely.
went
It was
and
trees
the
on our cars.
car
Yeah.
went in,
Yes.
and then the job may not have been there or not able to
And
get there.
then even just the side effects, the collateral damage of it. I mean, because our car was messed up, we tried to go rent a car, and Enterprise Rent a Car said from the day,
Right.
from the Tuesday on, they had 500-600, requests for rent a car. So I even called rent a car companies in Troy. Particularly vans, people trying to move their stuff. We
Yeah.
don't have a minivan.
Oh, U-Haul is a
we
wrap.
have a big family, so I need a replacement van.
Yeah.
And so we have no vans in Troy. We have no vans at
Wow.
the airport. And so, people were just scrambling, trying to salvage what they could.
Absolutely.
Because just within a few days of that, the apartment complex said, hey, you got to come in and
You
get
gotta
your
get
stuff.
out.
Because this place
how
is gonna
heartless is that?
Well, I don't think it was their fault. I think it was based upon what was going on within the apartment complex, the gas and stuff. And once a building is condemned, you cannot go back in.
Yeah, right.
And this was the problem. The problem was that there were no roofs.
Yes.
And so they were afraid that
Yeah.
the buildings would cave in on the people.
Well, when I saw Westbrook and what used to be Castlebrook,
Yes.
I was really taken aback because think about how many families were displaced. I mean, when you talk, there is no roofs on those apartments.
Right.
All the windows were blown out from the tornadoes.
Yeah.
And there were people there because it was looters. It was people, they were trying to hold on to what little bit they had because looters were coming, taking stuff.
Yes.
And I know several people that lost things, not just from the storm, but from the looters coming and stealing. So, I mean, it's such a tragic situation. And it just makes you that much more grateful.
Yeah.
You guys were blessed. You might have lost your van, but you still had your home.
And a vehicle at least.
That's absolutely right. And most, Dayton is awesome. Most of the
Yeah.
blessed people have strangers in their homes.
Ah.
They have taken people in that
Yeah.
they did not even know. I mean, we had 11 people in our house.
Yeah.
But those were our family
Yeah,
members. But
exactly.
for those people who said, you know what, come on in this house.
Yeah.
They had that Matthew 25
Yes.
mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's
Now-
amazing.
When storms have occurred since then, because I know there's been some, is there more panic than the normal that
Absolutely.
you find among
Paranoia.
people?
Goodness.
Or even yourself? So
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't really have that issue as bad as people like my sister whose houses were blown away.
Right.
When they hear the wind blow, when they hear thunder, it is almost as if they go into manic panic. It's not just
Like a PTSD.
yes,
like,
it's
oh my
like,
God.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? We were in Indianapolis this weekend with my sister, and they had a tornado warning. And when I tell you, she was grabbing everything up, let's go now.
God.
And it wasn't even in the area. But For her, it was that serious.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody that was with her, we all just packed up and went with her because we understand.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that. I don't understand.
But you can
we can. I can
empathize.
feel her.
That's right,
yeah.
you can
yeah.
empathize.
Feel what she's going through.
Yeah.
Even being here, I think that after that, because I lived in Trotwood for a while and just looking at the old neighborhood, knowing that it was that close, the next time I heard of a storm or a tornado, I just listened just a little bit more
I
to see where it was. I used to ignore those things. I'd be like, oh, nothing's coming here, nothing's getting close. But that really hit, even though I'm in this area, it really hit a little bit too close to home to say, okay, you need to be up and you need to listen.
When we were in Nashville, they had a saying, you don't believe fat meat is greasy.
Uh-huh.
Now we all believe the
Oh,
fat meat is
yes.
greasy.
We
Yeah, we
believe that.
believe that.
Even
Telling you,
driving up-
Yeah.
This is the first time in our lifetime that this has ever happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we grew up with tornado warnings. So it was nothing for us to have a tornado warning. You go in the basement, you know what I mean? Or and most of the time we fall asleep, in the basement or whatever. But I don't think people took it to the degree that they're going to take it now.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think
Because it's finally happened.
Yeah, I think the last major catastrophe that happened in Dayton is the blizzard
Yes.
of '77.
Well, Ed, remember that windstorm that came through?
Right.
Remember, it was as a
I think
result
that might
of,
have hit Cincinnati worse than Dayton.
I don't know, because my mother's power was out for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
That windstorm actually blew the roof off of our church.
Well, okay. Yeah. And I think that
windstorm
came
was
from
off
a
the
hurricane or something in Texas.
Yes, that
or
came
something.
from a hurricane.
Yeah, it was
blew
down
on
south,
through.
and we got the remnants of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it was very just out of the blue
Right.
kind of a thing, and
I
all of
remember.
a sudden,
My job
signs
was
and
closed
stuff.
or something for days.
We
and
were coming home from church,
I had
and
power, but
And it was just, we went to Cracker Barrel. That's what was funny. We went to Cracker Barrel, got in there, got seated, and you know how they had those rocking chairs out front? We ordered our food, and the next thing you know, this big wind came, and all the rocking chairs was out in the parking lot.
Wow.
And they sent all their staff outside to run out in the rocking chair.
Wow.
I said, what is happening out there? And then within a minute or two, the power went out. And so our power was out probably 5-6 days. My mother's power was out a couple weeks in Dayton. So I mean, that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, being that the hurricane didn't really happen here, we just got the remnants. I let you know how powerful a hurricane is,
Right.
because we just got the back end of it.
I remember my job didn't have power. My mother had power. I had power. Mine went out for like 5 minutes and came right back on. And I was like, oh, wow. But the neighborhood and the trees and all the things that went down during that time was like, wow, this is really
It was
something.
major.
And
It
that's
was
nothing
major.
compared to what you all experienced.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
My God. So what do you say to one of your members if they lost everything? I mean, how do you minister to them?
Well, I think for me, these past 2 years have changed for me because I have had a chance to get 2 units in clinical pastoral education. And so I've learned something different than I didn't know before. Before I would probably just say the old church lingo.
Yeah.
And throw scripture and the Lord will provide.
Right.
We know that. The Lord can replace. And I believe that's true. However, I'm a little bit more sensitive and just understanding the ministry of presence for people. Sometimes that can just mean a lot. Sometimes our words, although we may mean them, can be superficial.
Absolutely.
Because
And you may not mean it to be that way, but that's
right,
the way it comes off.
and we don't. But when you tell somebody who lost everything, the Lord will provide.
Right.
And they're looking like, wow, he ain't provide
When?
nothing. When? Absolutely. When? So I've learned, the ministry of presence, just to be there, just to listen. And so I've even invited and opened the doors to members of the church. If you need to come talk, if you need to come lay out on the floor and cry, if you need to come yell and scream in the sanctuary, come do that. Let that emotion out. Because again, it runs deeper than just stuff. And let's be honest, sometimes people's lives were tied in some things.
Yeah.
That Sunday,
I agree with that.
That Sunday, I preached the sermon about when Paul was in the storm on the ship. And one of the things that I tell everybody, find something to hang on to.
Yeah.
You know, and I went down the list. It might be a
Something
picture.
of substance.
Yeah, it might be a picture of your family. You might have lost everything else. Find something to hang on to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's typically what I say, just to be there for them and say, just find something to hang on to. If it's just a memory of family, find something.
So when that Sunday came, did you all have power back in the church? You did?
Yes, we got power back on
There was
Thursday.
still some churches that didn't have
Yes,
power.
yes. It was, yeah. And actually what we did, we opened up to churches who didn't. Particular church, a good friend, Pastor Norman Scarris, Gateway Cathedral. We're such good friends. I told him, I said, hey, no matter what, if you don't have power or if you can't have service at your location, because his church was directly impacted.
Right, it was. I
It's
saw his
it's right
church.
behind Westbrook.
Right by Westbrook.
Yeah.
I went over
and I
there.
said, you can have have service at our church.
Yeah.
Just let me know. He opted to have service at his church, and you know, I told him anytime you need it. You know, it's
He had a
open.
lot of roof damage.
Yeah, I said it's open. So we, you know, we once we got it back on, actually came back on that Thursday. That Saturday is where we partnered with another ministry, and so all day Saturday, you know, anybody who needed something, anybody who just come and charge their phone, something to eat, some water, whatever we had, it was there for them. Whatever we collected, and then Sunday we had service.
And then more to the practical side of that question too, if he also offered on Sunday, he said, if there's anything that anybody needs, you asked about ministering to our congregation.
Yeah.
If there's anything that anybody needs, let us know. Then, so the secretary made a list. And for most people, and we just need to put that out there, now they need money. That's what they need. And so if they put on that list that they needed money, that is exactly what we did. So we need to make sure that we actually
Meeting
are
the
meeting
need.
the need.
Meeting
Yes,
the
because
need.
that's the need right now.
And that's what ministry is.
Yes.
Even the firehouses said a week later, said we don't need water now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we need
Don't bring any more
don't bring any more water. We have too
Yeah.
much water, so we need other stuff. And we found that out in Haiti after the hurricane that I didn't know that water could spoil.
Yeah.
You know, after sitting in them plastic bottles in the hot sun. So that's what I said, we don't need water. And so what we're trying to do is stay attuned to what do people need now. You know, so now more so it's money, because now, you know, insurance checks for some are slow to come in.
Absolutely.
We still don't have our car back. My father-in-law still don't have his car back. You know, so, you know, insurance company pays so much. Some people their insurance company paid for a few days.
Right. And then what?
And then that was it.
And they got to figure it
They
out.
got to figure it out. So people need money. And then the enormous cost of those who've had trees.
Yes.
I talked to somebody in our church. He said, a bunch of trees fell around my yard. Nothing touched my house. But it's going to cost me $3,000.
You got to cut those
to
trees up
move
and
the
move them.
trees.
Yeah.
You know, we watch, and so since this is so real, we watch TV and you hear about federal money in the state and the emergencies declared, and I think a lot of people feel like they come in and they do all this stuff to you, but it sounds like that's not necessarily the way that works.
Yeah, that's you know, kind of a great point is understanding, getting an understanding of how it works. No, they don't just come in and, you know, and just
Right.
give out cash.
Exactly.
First, you got to go apply for it. It takes time. They got to verify you,
Right.
which is one of the great things that our city did, churches included, was that they provided their spaces where people could come and get replace their birth certificates, their
Yeah.
social security cards, their IDs, because you have to have that stuff
do.
to apply for FEMA.
Absolutely.
You can't just go and say, hey, my house was blown away.
Right.
I need $5,000.
Right.
They're going to
Absolutely.
look at you and say, well, man, we need to know who
That's
you
right.
are.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
that can be a slow process.
It's going to be.
It's going to be, and it's going to be a long process.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's what I said, whatever church, whatever you can do. If it's nothing to give a gas card,
Yeah, exactly.
you can do something. You know,
Exactly.
do something to help somebody. And you, believe it or not, a $50 gas card with people who've lost everything
Yes.
can go a long way.
It can go a long way.
It can go a long way.
Especially if they still have a
Right.
job.
Yeah, right.
At least they can get to the job to make some more money.
Right.
So-
You know.
Right.
So I'm hearing that definitely now water is no more a big need. And
right, at this point,
but
money,
toiletries still, or just
toiletries,
mostly money,
diapers.
money,
diapers, yeah,
money, diapers.
And
yeah.
I have been down ever since it happened. I've been taking a carload down just from people in Cincinnati that know I'm from Dayton. And I just load up my car and I'll go down there. I'll come and visit you guys, visit Pastor Terrence Hayes and some of the other churches, and just dropping off the stuff that people here have given.
Yeah.
But God really started dealing with me because I was just heartbroken to see my city, you know, in the condition that it's in. So I guess the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you guys, y'all got my thing up for me? Y'all ready?
Okay.
I want to share this with you guys because this is what the surprise is, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with my friends. We are about to bring some Queen City love to Dayton, Ohio, and I am so excited. If you are not doing anything on Saturday, July the 13th, then you need to be with us going down 75 North so that you can see this. Y'all ready? Let's hit it. That's right. We are bringing Cincinnati love to Dayton, Ohio. Cincinnati Cares and Shares benefit concert and event. I am so excited, you guys. I cannot wait. Yeah. And I am bringing some of the most anointed friends I have down here in Cincinnati, and we're just coming to bless the city. We coming to bless the Gem City. And you guys listen, it's going to be at the Inspiration Church, 2900 Philadelphia Drive, right there with Pastor Cunningham's church, and we're gonna fill it up. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We have a barbershop network. We're gonna be giving away free vouchers for tornado victims. And you haven't, I mean, there's so much going on, you probably haven't had time to get a haircut. You probably had time to take your kids to get a haircut. So we're gonna be giving out vouchers for you to get free haircuts. We got food by, who is it? We got
food. I know some food trucks.
You know, well, we got two. We have Pittman's Barbecue and Mr. B's Fish. You guys, all you gotta do is come. And the thing about it is, it's free. It's free because we want to come and bless the city of Dayton, Ohio. And the thing is that you guys have been down there and you've been doing all you can, and y'all been singing and doing this and that and helping feed people and all of that, and that's wonderful. But we just kind of wanted to give y'all a break. You know what I mean? We wanted to come down and minister to you guys and let you know that y'all got friends down here in Cincinnati and that you have people that care. And we just want to come and show some love to my hometown. And we ain't coming empty-handed. We have a network of churches here in Cincinnati. They are already collecting donations, and we coming down 75, and we bringing all that with you. So if you got too much, you can go ahead and share some of that with Gateway. You can share it with Pastor Winston, whoever need it. But we are making them the facilitators because they are hosting this event, and we're so grateful that you opened your doors to us. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for just thinking of this, and thank you for, and we're glad that we're able to be able to do it. And you're right. You know, when you're pouring out, you got to be filled up too.
Absolutely.
It's hard to fill up somebody else when you're empty. Not saying that we're empty, but everybody needs some encouragement. And again, now that it's official, I'm blasting Dayton. You gotta be there. Because again, you know, a friend like Pastor Scarce at Gateway, even his church, without power, storm damage, his church was kind of a epicenter of assistance for a while, and he's been doing a lot. And not only just his church, but his home and his neighborhood was destroyed. And he's not only a pastor, but he's on the Trotwood School Board. And so I'll definitely call him and make sure he's he's there, and others. Because we
want them in the house.
And the strongest pastors are. A lot of times we're human. A lot of times we go home and cry silently.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we just the city. We just want to make sure that they're blessed and continue to be blessed.
Absolutely.
And to let people know that it's not just the end. Because a lot of times what happens during tragedy, you have 1 or 2 weeks and people go away.
Absolutely.
Things start
and you
to
definitely get out of the news headlines. So they're not going to be talking about it as much.
Yeah, that's right.
But what I care about is that I don't want you all wore out. And I think we all need to spread out our efforts. And I wanted to be able to bring this to you guys because I know how tired you all are. And you can help people and help people and help people, but at some point you've got to gain your strength back. So that's why we really wanted to bring everything God has given us. We want to bring it to you guys. And we just want to load you up with love and give you all strength. And we want it to be a healing that takes place in the city. And if we can help to jumpstart that, we just want to do it, from our heart.
Just your willingness to doing it, to do this. Already, I can even sense it even before posting it.
Right.
On all our social media outlets, just to know that hey, people in Cincinnati care about us. From other states care about us.
Yeah.
And that's just good to know for people.
We're neighbors. I think, when you think of Cincinnati and Dayton, we're really like neighbors. It's a little bit of space between us, but we're really like neighbors.
Yeah.
And this is the opportunity and a lot of people have gotten up to, as a united front, to bring a group of people from the city, just to show that you're not in this alone.
You're not
that
by
your
yourself.
neighbors to the south are there for you, we're praying for you, and we're going to bring you support, and in a tangible way, not just in a praying and that, because sometimes you need something tangible.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a wonderful thing. I think that's when real ministry takes place, when you can combine worship with service.
Absolutely.
And actually, if you really think about it, service is the other side to worship.
It is.
Yes.
It is a part of worship.
Because it's in action.
It's action.
It's in action. It's in action.
And when we can come and have some good church
Yes.
and feed people and help people at the same time, that just,
And you come,
that's the kingdom.
Right.
That
and
is
you
the
come to
kingdom.
church and you feel both
kingdom.
ways, spiritually and physically.
And physically.
That
You
is
come to this
kingdom.
service and get your spiritual needs met, but if you've got a need at home, you can come to this event and take some stuff back
That's
that
right.
you need to make it. Tangible stuff to help you make it day to day after you leave that.
Yeah.
So this is something that everybody can get involved with. So if you're in Cincinnati, because I've had a lot of people like, I don't really know what to do. I really want to do something because I just feel so bad for what happened to them. And you know what? This is your opportunity. We have churches in the area, and we are going to be posted on social media on Facebook. You'll be able to reach out to any of these churches in the area. You can just go and drop off donations because they're part of our church network. I'm telling you, we're going to load y'all up. Y'all going to be like, I don't even know where we're going to put all of this. Where we supposed to put all this stuff? And we're going to give y'all everything we got. And if you need to share it with other ministries, feel free to do that. We're just making you all the facilitators of that. And I want to be able to probably do several things, over several months, because I really want to get to the point where we can bless some people by maybe paying their deposits so they can get an apartment. Right now, a lot of people are displaced. They don't know where they're going. A hotel is only going to last for so long, but permanent housing is what's needed. So we need to come together and ask the Lord, what would you have us to do to be able to make sure that these people's lives can be put back together? We want people to believe that God's going to do it. We want them to believe that.
And I imagine there are people still probably living in a hotel, and I don't know how long insurance or the Red Cross pays but I'm sure there's
Yeah,
a
that's
time
about
limit
it.
or something.
Yeah, exactly.
about it.
It's only gonna last a few
Yeah,
days.
it's only gonna last a
So they
while.
need to be in a place where they can call home again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would like for us to be able to put our heads together and say, how can we do that? How can we make this happen for some of these families? But we want people to come and eat. We don't want anybody to not have anything to eat. If you need clothing, we bring in clothing, toiletries, diapers, and the gospel is gonna be in the house.
Yes.
Let me tell y'all who's gonna be at this gospel.
My Lord.
If you didn't see the commercial, I'm getting ready to show it again. We're going to show it again in a couple minutes. But we've got leading praise and worship. We got Minister David Minor, Minister William Chipper Smith, Minister Anita Flagg, Minister Pamela Staples, and yours truly. So we're going to saturate the house, and we're going to make sure that God is there. Everybody going to know He's there when we get done.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
gonna be in the house.
Yes,
He's following
Lord.
us down 75 anyway, so he's
Yeah.
gonna be with us
Yes, Lord.
when we get there. Tell him who's gonna be on the concert.
Now we got Elder Rodney Posey, B. Chase Williams and Shabbat, Bishop Michael Mack, Bishop Will Hayes, Dunamis Mind Ministry, SC, Psalmist Diane Williams, Minister Doug Tolles and Witness for Christ, and Minister Marlon McDaniels. This is going to be awesome.
Y'all
We
got a
some
lineup.
people.
And you know, I talked to Doug Tolles the other night, and he was like, I have to be a part of this. And we wanted to minister to you guys, because you know, Doug lives in,
Yeah.
he lives in Dayton.
We love Doug.
We
Tolles.
love us some Doug Tolles. Who gonna tell Doug Tolles he can't do it?
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I want to see who that is. Put your hand.
There you go.
I was like, I can't tell him no. I wanted him to be in it. He is such an icon, and he is such a songwriter. And there are people singing Doug Tolles songs in churches, don't even know Doug Tolles
Tolles
wrote
wrote
it.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
They just
That's it.
singing the song. They don't even know he wrote the song. So I told him, I said, you come on with it, Minister Doug. So he's really the only one from Dayton that's going to be ministering, because we really wanted to bring it here. But I want him to do it. I love him, and I love his ministry. So we coming with it.
We ready.
Hey.
We
You
ready.
even got some people coming live forever from Dayton. B. Chase Williams and Shabbat.
And we got, well, you know, B. Chase is from Cincinnati,
Yeah,
even though he lives in Atlanta.
He lives in Atlanta.
But he was like, you know, I have to be a part of this. So I really appreciate his heart, and
Wow.
I appreciate his spirit, because he does have a chapter that he's doing now
Okay.
in Cincinnati.
Wow.
So he wanted to be a part. He's like, I'm absolutely going to be there. So, and we got a couple surprises too that's going to be probably
All right
popping
now.
their head in the building
All
on that
right.
day.
Yeah.
Saturday, July 13th, y'all need to put it on your calendar right now. Call somebody and say, what am I doing Saturday, July 13th? Say, I'm going to Cincinnati Cares and Shares Benefit Concert. That's
Yes.
what we're going to be doing. It's free. You get to eat. You can get whatever you need, whatever is going on in your life. You say, listen, I think we need some diapers. These kids don't have no clothes. Just come over and get what you need. Come and meet Pastor Corey and Pastor Stephanie. Listen, these are some of the lovingest people ever. I mean, they just
Yes.
have a big heart for God's people. That's what kingdom is.
Yes.
Kingdom is not about, this is our church and we're going to do what we do over here. That's not kingdom. Kingdom
Yeah.
is, what can we do to help the whole? And
Absolutely.
you're not worried about whether it's just your church or just your pastor, just your choir. That's not what this is about. This is about everybody coming together for a common need and a common cause. We see you all are in need, we're coming down there and help you.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
You know, it's so very important that we come together, because as a pastor in the city, and I tell people Dayton is you know, it's mid-sized city, but it's small enough that in each church there's a relative in somebody else's church.
Absolutely. We about
Yes.
2 people away from knowing everybody.
Yeah,
in the
everybody, yeah. So you know, so people that were affected in our church, they have family members that were affected, and we didn't mention this, and it's wasn't talked about much, but a couple days after the tornado, one of the apartment complexes that was damaged. Once they turned the gas back
I heard
on,
about that.
it caught on fire.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did hear about
So,
that.
so that was a kind of another tragedy that happened, and we have church members who lived in that apartment complex, but they weren't affected by the
Wow.
fire itself. But when we say that this storm actually made us be family
It
again.
did.
Because in each church that you can find somebody that's
turned
a
it
family
around.
member in somebody else's church.
And I think he
And-
wanted us to know you need each other. Stop
Yeah.
all this pettiness and this
That's right.
foolishness.
Yeah.
Because I put you all down there for each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. And even here in Cincinnati, with the love from Cincinnati, but you a home girl.
Absolutely.
You
I've
live
been
in
there. My pastor's from there.
Yeah, that's right. Your
Cousin-
pastor, Bishop
cousin,
Cousins. Yeah,
he's
so
from Dayton, and
yeah, so
solely
it-
affecting that. We partnered with a lot of people and kind of partnered with
it's
Doris, and
it's all about us working together.
It's all about
pulling
working
in money,
together for a
pulling
common
resources,
goal.
getting stuff up there right away. We kind of on the
Absolutely.
And it cuts
battlefield.
out the bureaucracy because, I mean, if FEMA can help and we know people are, fill out your paperwork, do what you got to do, but it's going to be about 29 weeks before you hear back from them because that's just how slow they are. And I believe that the church can be the gap maker to help people keep going until they get what they need.
Absolutely.
So we need to be in place. I think God is calling us to be in place so that we can fulfill the needs of his people.
Absolutely. And if I can say this to any church that's watching who feels like, oh, I'm a small church, there's nothing that I can do. Our church is not, of course, not the largest church in the city, but it ain't the smallest either, but we know what it is to take what we have
And y'all got the biggest heart.
to help people.
Yes.
They got a big heart.
and-
Can we show the commercial one more time?
And from the beginning, when we started our church 8 years ago, we didn't have money in the bank, but we had the heart to bless people.
Absolutely.
And because of that, and because of the connection that we have to people that we know, we just ask, hey, will you donate this? And we've been able to do that ever since we've started. And so it's no different now. So if you're a church that doesn't have a lot of members, doesn't have much resources in the bank, talk to your family, talk to your friends, tell them what you want to do, that you want to be a part of this. You can do it. Again, $10, $20 gas card
That's it.
can go a long way.
Let's
Whatever
give
you
away
can.
some gas cards at the
And- yeah.
concert.
And if we just
Let's
got
do
one
that.
from the few people, you'd be surprised how much 10 here, 5 here adds up
Exactly.
over time.
Yeah.
So we're
You
gonna
look
bless
at some of
people
these
with some
political
gas
things
cards.
and how they raise money with a little bit at a time. We, the body of Christ, can do the same thing.
That's right.
Right.
We can put this together and we can get Dayton out of this situation.
Well, that's what Acts 2 is all about.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's what they did.
That's
they
right.
went and they
They
took whatever
fulfilled
they
a
had.
need.
They took whatever they had, and the scripture says
Nobody
Nobody
went
was in
without
need.
anything.
Nobody had a whole lot of money, but no one was in need.
That's right.
Because this person took what they had, sold it, and gave the
Absolutely.
rest to the poor.
Right.
That's
Can
what we're
we
here to
show
do.
the commercial one more time? Just one more time, y'all. I need y'all to pay attention to this now. One more time before we go off the air.
Yes.
I can't
She's
wait
very
until this
excited.
concert.
I can't
This
really
is gonna
wait.
be
This
fun.
is going to be awesome.
This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. That's it, you guys. Saturday, July 13th. We're going to get started about 4:30. I think we're doing intercessory prayer about 4:30. And at 5 o'clock, we ushering it in. We just going to go ahead and do it. We're bringing him with us.
He's going to be there because
Yeah.
we're going to saturate it before you get there.
There you
We're going
go.
to saturate it in prayer
Hey, I
and
welcome
praise.
it.
Yeah,
It ain't
it's
nothing
good.
like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yes.
If you are ready to be spiritually healed from everything that has happened, during the tragedy of the tornadoes, we invite you to come on out. Saturday, July 13th
Thank-
is free, and we need y'all to come on down with us. Come on and worship with us. We're going to have a wonderful time. Hit us up on Facebook. If you want to be a partner with us.
Yeah.
If you want to join in with us, you say, I've been wanting to do something to help the people in Dayton, partner with us, give donations. We're going to put the listing of all the churches that are partnering with us, and we want you to come on out on Saturday, July 13th. We love you guys so much. I'm so grateful. Thank y'all for being with me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Y'all are
Awesome.
such a blessing.
Blessing.
To the